Midweek racing takes place out at Hollywoodbets Greyville, racing on the Polytrack. 8 races on the program. It is Wednesday, the 29th of January 2025. Race number 1 gets underway at 12:35. It is the start of the bipod, 1200 meters the distance, and it is an open maiden for fillies and mares. Joining me in the studio is Dees Dynant, and we'll get Dees' thoughts in a moment. Having a look at the market, number 12, Roy's Grace, is your favorite at 5-2. Number 3, She's a Rocket, the newcomer to KZN, is at 3-1. It's number 2, Diamond Dash at 11-2. 6-1 about number 8, Predator's Surprise, and then it is 10-1 and better bar those. Now, it's not a race that's going to take a lot of winning. The filly that finished second last time out and probably brings the best form into the race on paper has got the deepest draw to contend with in this open maiden, and she's got 61.5. So it's an interesting start to the bipod.
Very royal, and I trust all the racing fans are well. We've been starved of racing here in KZN, and nice to get the show back on the road on this Wednesday on the Polytrack. Yeah, you know, these open maidens can spring results. We've seen it down in the Western Cape especially, you know, where they have these races quite often. We don't have many of them, but now we're going to have more of them with the program being changed, etc. Because of the spread of weights, you know, it's 61.5 kgs as you mentioned, with the top weight all the way to 52.5 kgs at the bottom. But you're right with number 12, Roy's Grace, Paul Gatsby's runner, on the way she's been racing, especially her last 2 starts. She's confirmed her well-being. And I like the fact that Raymond Dennison, who partnered her last time out, will get the chance again. Her 1 run on the Polytrack was only at her 2nd start, so we can't read too much into that. And she just needs luck from the draw. And then horse number 3, She's a Rocket. You mentioned that debuting in the province. Yeah, how good is she going to be here in KZN? I don't know, but what I will tell you is that with her carrying 55 kgs and bringing some of those Gauteng maiden form lines to KZN, it could be good enough to see her win. So I'm going to take a chance here, Ryle. Short and sweet, in order of preference, 12 to be 3 in leg 1 of the bipod. And if you're looking for trifectas and quartets, I've got 2 nice outsiders for the guys, numbers 4 and 6.
I'm going to include number 8, Predator's Surprise, into the play. Last time out, it was on the turf. She's better than that effort. 11 lengths to Jean d'Arc. Judge on the 2 previous efforts, 3 lengths to Get Off My Cloud and 4 lengths to Ammerfort. I think this filly will be in contention here with Muzieni in the irons at around 6-1. So I'm going to go 3 horses in leg 1 of that bipod, 3, 8 and 12. And then you heard from these 3 and 12. And then he's given you 2 roughies to include into the play. And that's race number 1.
On to the start of the place accumulator, race number 2. If you want to get on the tote by 13:10, 10 past 1. It's over 1200 meters, and it's another open maiden. And let's have a look at the field, and we bring up the field and have a look at the betting. Number 1, Trendmaker, is at 33-10. Then we have number 6, Kazi. That's Louis Courson's runner with Dennis Schwartz. Well, these 2 have hit the road running, or hit the turf running, should I say. 3 winners the last time we raced in KZN for this combination, so worth following. Number 7, Higher Love, is at 6-1, and then number 11, River Dance, is at 33-10. Number 12, One Arm Bandit, is at 9-2, and it's double figures the balance. I'd like to begin with One Arm Bandit, Raheel, Paul Lafferty's runner, because as you would know, they fancied the horse very strongly at his penultimate start, of the opinion that he was looking for the ground. It was not to be. And then last time out, when they dropped him 1200 meters with the blinkers on, you know, personally I thought at around 5-6-1 he could be the value in the race. He showed a lot of pace and speed that day. I can clearly recall the race, and up to a point he looked like maybe he was going to go on with it, but for some reason or the other he doesn't want to go on with these efforts. I mean, each time he comes to the track, I'm talking about his first 4 runs, he runs to a point and then he just fades in the running. So I don't know what's going on with this horse. You know, Paul Lafferty thinks the world of him, because you've chatted to him, I'm sure, when you've worked with him, that there's no other horse in his yard that can work with this horse.
Yeah, Dees, I remember after this horse's after he made his debut, I thought to myself, wow, this could be a useful source from the Paul Lafferty yard. And as you mentioned, we would have spoken to him, and he did say that this is one to keep an eye on. And given that last time he showed quite a bit of speed, what we must take into account is that it was a bit soft on the day, so he may have just come up for air over the final bit, just running on empty over the final bit, because he did do it quite hard out in front. And it's going to be interesting to see what they do from the draw, D's, because he's got a big weight to carry, he's got a deep draw to overcome, and on the poly track over 1200 meters, he is going to have his work cut out in this race, and there's speed on his inside. So are they going to give him a chance? But with the blinkers on, it seems like he's more free, and he shows a lot of speed, so he's likely to ping those gates and try to get across. And I'm hoping that he doesn't do it too hard out in front, or at least in a handy position, because if he can just save some reserve for that final stages of the race, I think that he can go close in this lineup, because it is the right type of race for him. There's not a lot of form to work with in this race. It lacks quite a lot of depth, and he arguably brings the best numerical form into the race. So he would be deserving of his maiden victory, but it's not going to be easy from gate number 12, although he is a horse that I think you've got to include in absolutely everything. Number 1, Trend Maker, he gets the best of the draws as opposed to the deepest of the draws from number 12, One Arm Bandit. I thought his debut run was very encouraging, and then last time out over 1400 meters, he just over-raced and he didn't go on with his effort. I think bringing him down in trip will do the trick, and I think with the speed in the race, you've got Brin the Magic, who can show speed with a 4 off the back. You've got Bomber Stream, who's quite quick out the gates. So I think the speed could play into the hands of number 1, Trend Maker, and I think that he's going to run a bold race here as well. So I think 1 and 12 should be good enough in leg number 1 of that place accumulator. And in order of preference, just based on the draws, I'm going to be with number 1, Trend Maker, ahead of the 12.
Yeah, I think that is it, because the way I've tipped them is 1 to beat 12, and as Rael is trying to get across, it's all going to be about the first 200 meters for number 12, One Arm Bandit, what type of lead he's going to get, if he's going to go to the front, is he going to be used up too much, how much energy left when it matters, which is at the business end of the race. So it's all up to Daryl Daniels and the tactics on number 12, One Arm Bandit, because he looks like he's bumping the right type of field. But number 1, Trend Maker, I'll take a stance and say at this stage of his career, maybe the 1400 meters is a bit too far for him. I think Doug Campbell is doing the right thing. 1200 meters, draw number 1, run of the race. And then for trifectas and quartets, you can't leave out number 11, River Dance. In fact, along with numbers 1 and 12, which I agree would be the right horses for the PA, if you're looking for one more, you're not confident with those boat runners, the obvious horse is number 11, River Dance. But it all points to number 12, One Arm Bandit, and what happens from the draw. But I think the right one could be number 1, Trend Maker.
Race number 3, you start off the pick 6. This is a D stakes over the 1000 meter trip. 13:45 is the off time. And your favorite is number 3, Purple Powerhouse, and number 4, Gorgeous Dude, both trading at 33 to 10. Number 6, Dress to the Nines at 7 to 2. Number 2, T-Rex at 4 to 1. Number 1, Breakout at 5 to 1. Victor Rail, number 7, is at 6 to 1. And then the biggest outsider is number 5, Capolino, at 12 to 1. Now it's a race that we find 6 one-time winners and 1 four-time winner. But the four-time winner has had the longest drought, 1,080 days without a win for number 3, Purple Powerhouse. I like the look of number 2, T-Rex, in this race. D's from 80 down to 59. I think he is in the right type of race to win. From a 2 draw, blinkers go on. I think that he could just possess his natural speed with those blinkers on. It could help him along in the race. And I think that this horse is going to run a huge race at 4 to 1 in the market. Dropped 3 more points after his last start. And I think this could be the right place for number 2, T-Rex.
Yeah, it's that type of race, it's very difficult to try and, have a go on the head, because if you look at the entire field, the highest merit rating that they've achieved to their current rating, the entire field has come down. All runners are just dropping in the ratings, and they're looking for the right type of field. One of these horses is going to get it right on Wednesday. But the horse that has achieved the highest rating and has got the biggest drop when it compared to others in the ratings is number 1, Breakout. And Fani Broncos is in town with a lot of runners, and he assures me that this horse, it seems to be the right race he's found for him. And from an 85 to a 59, draw number 1. He does show some pace and speed when his mind's on racing. I've seen him a few times up in Gauteng where, he just shows a very little interest in the early part of the race and he runs accordingly. It's all about how he jumps out and how he's going to get into the race. I think Serena will give him all the chance from draw number 1. So that's going to be my top choice. I'm tipping them 1 Breckhard to beat number 4, Gorgeous Dude, on the benefit of a very good last start when third behind Rhythm. Then your horse, number 2, T-Rex, and number 3, Purple Powerhouse. He is a 4-time winner, but he is yet to win over the distance. But against this type of field, the ability is certainly there. So I think he'll run a forward race. I'm going to go 1, 4, 2, and 3. But it's a tough one with the rule, Rael, because with 7 runners, it's either 3 or the field. So can we just include 3 runners in the pick 6?
What's that going to be? 1, 2, 4.
1, 2, 4. I mean, then we're leaving out a horse that, you mentioned an 8-year-old, 1,080 days, but the fact is he's a 4-time winner, and in a small field like this, he could get away with it over 1,000 meters.
He hasn't won 1,080 days.
Okay, let's go 1, 2, and 4 with Rael's top choice being number 2, T-Rex, my top choice being number 1, Breckhard, and we've included number 4, Gorgeous Dude. So that's the start of the pick 6. It all begins at 13:45. I'll be on to race number 4, Jackpot 114.20, 20 past 2, 1,800 meters the distance. It's an open maiden. Now, we've mentioned it, we've touched on it from the top of the show. Open maidens are going to be weights from top to bottom, and this is the way it looks with the betting. Number 2, Freddie Slater, 7-1. Then we got number 5, City Lights, 7-1. 6, White Seahorse at 4-1. 7, Glorious Butterfly at 6-1, 3-year-old filly. Then we have number 10, The Wolf at 6-1, and number 12, El Capitan at 3-1. It's double figures, the balance. This is a tricky start to Jackpot 1, Rael, but I've got a first choice, and I like my first choice here, number 10, The Wolf, Stuart Ferry's runner. 3 runs to date have been progressive runs. I say progressive runs because I think they've been building him up from a sprint trip to once he goes over further. Last time out over 1,600 meters, drawn 9 out of 10. I think Sean Veal had little choice in placing the horse. The plan was to give him a chance from the get-go, and he was 5.5 lengths behind World of Our Own. Against this type of field, although he's poorly drawn, I think he'll have every chance going the extra 200 meters. That's going to be my top choice. My second choice is going to be the obvious horse, number 12, El Capitan. And then my third choice, I'd like to include the filly, number 7, Glorious Butterfly, who will have a very low weight on her back. And she's another filly that seems to be coming along nicely for Dennis Bosch. So those are my 3 horses, 10, 12, and 7. I like the 6-1 shot, number 10, The Wolf. And for larger pick 6 perms, if the guys want a look in with other runners, I'll give numbers 2 and 6 a mention.
There's no disagreements here from my side. I'm with you on number 10, The Wolf. I think that step up and trip's going to suit him down to the ground. And yeah, I like the manner in which he quickened up last time out, despite not getting involved in the finish. He finished off his race quite nicely, and I think there's more to come from him. Does have an awkward draw to contend with, but there's likely going to be speed on in the race, especially when you have these young apprentices with lightweights on horses. You've got number 1 with just 48.5. You've got this horse, Guard My Fate, with just 48 kgs on the back. So these are the type of horses that can go forward with those lightweights. And if they are going to be competitive in a race of this, they're probably going to need to go forward and make horses come and fetch them rather than them going to fetch horses. So I think the speed will be on. I think that will play into the hands of number 10, The Wolf, and he's a big player. And then you've mentioned numbers 2, 7, 2, 6, 7, and 12. So those are the horses. Yeah, I think in terms of the pick 6 and exotics, I think the most you'll need is those 5 horses, 2, 6, 7, 10, and 12.
Yeah, it looks like a race where you could get a good trifecta quartet here, race number 4 over 1,800 meters. But nice that Rael is in agreement with my top choice here, number 10, the Wolf, who is going to be the each-way player in race number 4, and play around number 10, the Wolf, with numerical order 2, 6, 7, and 12.
Race number 5, this is the start of Jackpot 2, 14:55, the off time. It is a class 4 for fillies and mares over 1,800 meters, and a very, very trappy contest. Weak favorite at the time of recording, number 9, Mocha Blend at 4-1. It's 9-2 about number 1, Play With Fire, number 2, Sasha's Dream, and number 4, Queen Amina, both at 5-1. Number 8, Off Limits at 11-2. It is then 8-1 and better bar those. Now, this is, as I mentioned, a very competitive race, and I think you'll do well to get through this leg with a minimum spend in the exotics. D's, it just seems that type of race where a result is possible and tickets are definitely going to be falling away.
Yeah, you have to take a stance in this type of race, with 11 being out. It's a tough one, because what do you think of the maidens? You're going to have to make a decision. When I say the maiden winners, I'm talking about 3, Lady My Lady, and 9, Mocha Blend. Do you think that they could be competitive against this field, having shed their maiden last time out? That's the first question. The second one will be, horses that are drawn well against horses that are poorly drawn. Are you going to eliminate the ones on the outside compared to the ones on the inside? And then there are some collateral form lines that you can work around with, and the most noticeable one, although they didn't race on the same race meeting, but they got She's a Bomber in their form line, is between numbers 2 and 4, Sasha's Dream, and number 4, Queen Amina. And between those two, I thought that number 4, Queen Amina, considering the barrier position she's been drawn at the last 2 races to win a maiden and run a good post maiden, now drawn 4, that she could certainly be the one that I'll be leaning towards ahead of number 2, Sasha's Dream. And then the inform, Louis Goosen and Dennis Schwartz, have number 8, Off Limits, who loves the poly track, is in good form, and you certainly can't discount the filly's chances. And then one more runner will have to be the visitor from the stable of Fani Bronkhorst, who will be drawn pole position. And I think against this type of field, the fact that she's won on the surface, she can't be left out of the play with fire. Tipping them like this, Rael: 4, Queen Amina to beat number 2, Sasha's Dream, and 8, Off Limits. And then I'm going to take a big, bold chance and only include one more runner in the pick 6. If those 4 runners don't feature, I'm out. So 4, 2, 8, and 1.
4, 2, 8, and 1. Okay, yeah. I'm not sure what to make of this race.
Are you a field man in this race?
I'm a field man in the jackpot and pick 6. I think it's tough. Sasha's Dream, I think, could be the roving banker in trifectas and quartets with just 55.5. I liked her last time out, as I thought she could be able to roll She's a Bomber at Hollywoodbets Scottsville, but She's a Bomber was just superior on the day. And from a 2 draw, I think that she could be the right type of horse in this race here. So I think I'll go with her as my top choice, but with no degree of confidence. And then I think number 3 probably worth an inclusion. That mark of 70 could be. I think it could be fair for her, because she's improving and she'll only get better over ground as well. So she could have something to offer here. And then, what do you make of this horse, number 5, Fire Burst, from the Mike de Kock yard? Nicely bred daughter of Fire Away out of that talented mare Rat Borana. I mean, she started off her career going off as favourite with Gavin Larina aboard, and then she sort of took a couple of runs to finally get it right. I thought she's been a touch disappointing, not having gone close. And then when you have a look at her post-maiden runs, 2 starts back, 2-1 favourite, 3 starts back, 11-2. So she's been fancied.
Yeah, it's just the fact that the stable's in such good form. I mean, Mike de Kock was having winners in both provinces regularly. That's here in KZN and, of course, Gauteng. So if you're in a follow-in-form stable, then follow number 5, Fire Burst. But it's decision time. You're going to have to be the judge here in race number 5. As I said, I'm taking a chance. Ryder likes the field in this race, but I'm going to go 4 runners in all bets. 4, 2, 8, and 1 in order of preference, and leading with number 4, Queen Amina. Good luck trying to narrow things down. Well, we're on to race number 6. It's 1,200 meters, fillies and mares, class 5. This is how it looks. Number 2, Drive By, is at 7-2. Then we have number 3, Mama's Baby, at 5-2, and 5, Quintasia, at 7-2. Number 8, Sweet Julia, is also at 7-2, and it's double figures, the balance. Well, I'm just going to go 3 runners here. These are the 3 runners that I'm going to include in all bets, meaning the exotics, in order of preference. 3, 2, and 5. I'll give you short comments on my selections. Number 3, Mama's Baby, with Kevin Larena up 602 days is a long time, but so has it been for some of the other runners in this race that haven't tasted success in a while. And I think that on a last start behind On Board, she could be ready to run a big, bold race. She's only had 1 start on the poly track, and her form says she's just a one-time winner at 1 place from 11 starts, so she's not the most reliable, but maybe Wednesday could be her day. Horse number 2, Drive By, Louis Courson and Dennis Schwartz. Well, they seem to be a theme throughout this race meeting, and I'm sure punters will take note of what they did when we last raced in KZN, and maybe they could follow up with some nice runners on the card. So I'm going with the combination and the fact that the stable is that well. Again, the onboard form line is there, and she finished behind number 3, Mama's Baby. And then number 5, Quintasia, for Daryl Moore and Rachel Vinekar's 1.5 kgs. Another horse that's searching for that next career win. She's still a maiden for a long time. But on a rating drop and the fact that she gets the 1.5 off, always thereabouts, that is going to be my play here. 3, 2, and 5. Anything else here, Rael? And again, like the previous race, out for me in the exotics.
I think it could be the time to strike with number 8, Sweet Julia. The way I look at the races, I think it's going to map out ideally for this filly from gate number 8. I think Sean will be able to jump out, get into a fairly decent rhythm towards the back end of the field if he doesn't try to get her handy. And I think that she could finish off a race nicely. I mean, if you look at her last start, over 1,000 meters, she was only beaten under a length behind Prankster, and she was running on late that day. She was doing her best work at the finish in a fillies and mares 73, where the average rating was 70. 2 starts back, average rating 75. 3 starts back, 72. This is a 64 over 1,200 meters, which I think will suit her a lot better. And I think this filly could be in the right race to go close here. So she's going to be the top selection for me. I've got respect for number 2, Drive By, because she's the type of horse that can always pop up, and she jumps from gate number 2, so she could be well placed here. This horse, Quintasia, I agree with you. I think that she is the type of horse that could find herself being very, very competitive here with just 52.5. And then Mama's Baby, I'm not quite sure what to make of her. 602 days since she won a maiden. She hasn't been the same horse after that maiden victory. She has dropped in the ratings quite a lot, but she's only around 1/4 after that maiden win. So not quite sure what to make of her chances here. Maybe more trifecta quartet inclusion. Then a horse that you've been for in the past, number 9, Swiss Paradise, possibly just better over 1,000 meters. But yeah, I like the look of number 8, Sweet Julia here.
Okay, 3, 2, and 5 for the exotics. That's the numbers I've given, but Ryle has suggested include number 8, Sweet Julia, and we can include that even if we play with the rule, because it's 9 runners, and that will be 4 runners that you could include in all your bets. So 3, 2, 5, and 8 going to be the play here in race number 6.
Race number 7, penultimate race on the program, 4:10, the off-time C stakes over 1,200 meters. Joint favourites 1 and 5, Preemptive Strike, McDazzler 3-1. Number 6, Hippocrates is at 4-1. Number 2, Voldemort, and number 8, Hope Is Power 6-1. 13-2 about Godspeed. It's then double figure odds about the bottom 3. These race number 7. What's your thoughts here?
Firstly, I will say that it looks like a field race. If there's ever was a field race on the card, it looks like this field because they are polytrack specialists, horses that love racing over the distance. You got horses that seem to coming back to some type of form. It's a small field. Horses that are in good form. You got a visitor in the race. This could be any type of result. But what I will tell you is that I love to back a horse here, and I will be backing it at 14-1. Number 3, Super Fast. Whilst I make it a field race, I'm going to have an each way go on number 3, Super Fast, with Imbuto claiming the 4 kgs and draw number 3. Just have a look at the horse's distance record, and I know that the horse hasn't won on the poly track, but he's had some fair starts. If you look at the ratings, and I mentioned that the horses that are dropping and horses that are in good form, the biggest difference from the highest merit rating achieved to the current rating is with number 3, Super Fast, which is 5 kgs. So I'm saying that Tony Rivelin has done the master stroke here by putting this young kid on, claiming 4.5 kgs, which basically means the horse is racing off a net 62. So with, what's it going to be, 54.5 kgs on his back against a quality field in this class. You know, when I say a quality field, I mean in this class, they're all going to be competitive. I like to use him as a roving banker in the race at around 14-1. Number 3, Super Fast. So that's going to be my play. As a roving banker, I can spend, quite much time talking about the form of the other runners, which is clearly noticeable as it jumps off the page. But number 3, Super Fast, is going to be my roving banker in the race at 14-1. And my suggestion to the racing fans out there is have it each way go.
Yeah, I thought this horse was in the right place. 3 rounds back these. I went for him that day at 20-1, and he just he didn't have luck in running. It was quad 3 deep and
1,000 meters.
No, it was 1,200.
You say 3 rounds back.
3 rounds back, yeah.
That was 1,200. Yeah, sure.
3 rounds back, and
I think this is his distance, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought that day, Dees. But I don't know.
This young kid had a good feel for him last time out. You know,
yeah, it was a better run.
He had pace, he had speed, and he just faded. You know, that was a good win from that horse, Stars in Heaven. So the young kid had a good feel for him last time out. Not that was the first time he partnered him. He actually partnered him 3 starts back where he attracted betting support. So he knows the horse well. And I think from the draw things could work out. But when you look at the other runners now, shoot, there's some poly specialists here, aren't there?
Yeah. This horse, Preemptive Strike, he is an absolute poly specialist. He's won 5 times on the surface, and his course and distance form is lethal. 15 rounds for 5 victories, and
his form lines are strong.
It's very strong, Dees. I mean, look at that run to rhythm, trippy T. He jumps from gate 1. That 1.5 off the back just negates that penalty that he got for his last win. So I think he's the roving banker for me in this race here. So I think 1 and 3, 2 horses to play around. Voldemort could be teed up with a speed on from the likes of McDazzler and Hippocrates. And then this horse, this filly from the Fani Broncos yard, she ran a good second last time out at big odds in a fillies and mares 88 handicap up in the Highveld. And she's been running in some strong races, D's. If she takes to the poly track, could you see her getting involved?
Yeah, you know, as I said, we can talk about the entire field. So, number 3, Super Fast, my roving bank in the race, the value at 14-1. You like number 1, Preemptive Strike. We'll have the run of the race from draw 1. Just keep an eye on him if you're going for him and how he jumps and how he settles, because he can be a tough customer for most of the way. But when he gets into the final 400 meters, he can turn on the speed, this horse. Number 1, Preemptive Strike. So that's it, guys. 3 Super Fast are going to be my roving banker race number 7. Ryan likes number 1, Preemptive Strike, but we both make it a very open race. Well, we close things off in race number 8, and hopefully things are going to plan in whatever bets you've taken, and you want to close something off here in the lucky last, which is a D stakes over 1,400 meters. As we bring up the field, we'll give you horses in single figures. Number 2, Eldrac, is at 9-2. Number 4, Porfirio, is at 9-2. 5, Brass Bell at 7-1. We then go on to number 7, McHardy at 6-1. Number 8, Numsan at 9-2. 9, Locomo at 7-1. And that is it. There are 2 runners here that are trading in double figures that I want to get Radhakrishna's thoughts on. And that's number 1, Double Olympic. It's at 20-1. and number 12, Bally Magic at 14 to 1. Just quick comments for me. Number 4, Porfirio Comnaidu's runner, I think is ready to run a big, bold race. Loves the poly track, runs well over the distance, and has got the form to win. Horse number 4, which is going to be Porfirio. Then we go on to number 2, which is El Drac, Alison Wright, and Gavin Arena. I think the same can be said. The way the horse is racing, 1400 meters should be no issue from a good draw. So numbers 2 and 4 we touched on. So those are the 2 runners. Then I mentioned, Ryle, that I'd like to hear your comments on 2 other runners, because I'm only going 4 runners here, 1, 2, 4, and 12 in all the exotics. Number 1, Dumble Olympic. The rating drop is clear. It's oversubscribed, that, we keep mentioning it. But the one thing that will grab your attention is that Yogas has tried to stretch this horse recently, and it hasn't worked. It hasn't worked at all.
Yeah, he doesn't stay this horse. He's back down to a distance that I think will suit him nicely. And he is low on confidence, so that is something that we've got to take into account. It's been 585 days since he won his maiden, but he has shown some fair ability in his recent, not recent runs, but at least in his overall form. So I think this could be the right type of race for him to show some improvement in, and I wouldn't be surprised if he were to get involved for trifectas and, trifectas and quartet. So definitely one to include for the minor position. I agree with number 4, Porfirio. I think he is going to go close. He's got solid form, just a big weight to shoulder. I think number 8, Numzon, is a big player. He's having his first start in KZN, first run for Freaky Kraling.
Freaky Kraling is making a habit of these horses.
Correct.
First run for him.
Correct. He's done well, and this horse rather his second run on the poly track. And he is a horse that on his Western Cape form lines, he will be competitive here. Number 9, Lake Como, a win for him 2 starts back. Unfortunately, I missed out last time out on New Year's Day when he ran a cracker second. But I think with Rachel aboard, 1.5 kgs off the back, she's the only one to have won on this horse. 4 wins on him. And I think that at 7 to 1, he has plenty of value. And then this horse, Macadi, I'd include him into the play as well. He was doing his best work at the finish last time out. He may just prefer the poly track. He is an old horse that does have his issues, 814 days without a win, but he's never too far off the action, and on a mark of 57 he could threaten. So in terms of the final leg of the place accumulator and the pick 6, I'll include number 1, Double Olympic as a roughie, number 4, Porfirio, and then 7, 8 and 9. So those are going to be the 5 horses that I include into the last.
Okay, Ryle has given you some numbers there, 7, 8 and 9 along with the play. I've gone 1, 2, 4 and 12. Give me your numbers for the pick 6, Ryle. I'm going to go 1, 2, 4 and 12 as the 4 runners for the pick 6. Anything else, I'm gone.
7, 8, 9 with the 1 and the 4.
7, 8, 9, 1 and 4. Hey, Ryle's got a lot of money to play on this Wednesday. He's got a big budget with his pick 6. He's multiplying it out here in the last 7, 8, 9, 1 and 4, 1, 2, 4 and 12. That is going to be it in race number 12. So that is it, guys. Hollywoodbets Greyville, we race on the poly track on this Wednesday. There are 8 races carded to you, the valued racing fan. On behalf of Ryle Radhakrishna, Gallop TV, and myself, Deez Dine, and you have a blast, file on the winners, and hopefully it turns out to be a wonderful, successful day for you, the valued racing fan. Until we meet again, you take care. Salani Gashti.